Love Thyself Initiative, Black Hair Journey. Far away during a time which seems so distant, women of a darker hue were to display their place in society by the many creative and unique ways their mane were displayed. Their mane was an indicator of such regal jest among their families, peers, villages, kingdoms, dynasties, and so forth. Such majesty and beauty came from the woman of darker hue. Until one day, out of nowhere, she was captured and boarded upon a boat to where no one knew. Imagine not being able to care for yourself, much less your mane, having to be stuck and sandwiched between bodies, some well, some unwell, sweltering in heat, hardly seeing sunlight or breathing in fresh air. Man, that hair care, that hair care, that hair care. Who had time to worry about their hair when turmoil was happening everywhere? For those who survived, ended up on a distant land, far away from what they knew to be home, with strange looking people, with strange sounding accents and languages, pulling and tugging, tugging and pulling. The woman of the darker hue was no longer who she knew to be. Coming from royalty, imagine the pain, the shame, and no more dignity. Body parts exposed, poked and prodded at, slapped around, kicked, beaten, and worse. Could you imagine the shame, the embarrassment? Unable to tend to herself, clean, wash, tame, pamper, for the woman of the darker hue was in much distress. The fright, the fear, more pain and stress, the anguish. Oh, how the woman of the darker hue was made to fall. Where was her man? Where was he to comfort her, hug her, hold her, kiss her? Where was he to protect her, defend for her, secure her? Where was her man? Now the thought of protecting and sorting out her mane had long gone. The woman of the darker hue became subject to all manner of ill treatments, incest, rape, hardship, witnessing her man she longed for to be chased down, hung, shot at, killed, ripped apart, sold, mullered, tortured, whipped, degraded, subject to rape himself. How could she keep her mind right? The woman of the darker hue was made as a breeding object, treated as livestock, a thing, an animal, not the queen that she once was. Oh, the disrespect, the sheer and utter disrespect. Giving birth to babies she does not get to fix her eyes on. Sometimes she does not live to see. Babies she is unable to care for, love, nourish, cherish, teach, nurture. Babies she will never see grow, mature, and have a family of their own. Now, is her mane a thing of the past? Sure. By now, she is unequipped to tame it. She does not know how to. And with all of the ill treatment and wickedness that plagued her, there was still an emittance of jealousy coming from those in control of the women of the darker hue, wives who felt that she needed to be covered up to seem less attractive to these barbaric men that felt they could invade her temple like a garbage bin and dispose of her free and willingly, using the woman of a darker hue as a dumping ground, violating her human rights and acting upon without consent and permission. These wives were jealous of such treatment. She, the woman of a darker hue, began to wrap her hair, but that only brought about the beauty of such majestic people that this style was quickly changed to shaving off her mane. Can you imagine not being allowed to maintain your mane for 1 week, much less hundreds of years? Being told that your hair is nappy, picky, with the use of negative overtones to discredit the natural beauty God blessed this woman of darker hue with. For her mane represents the universe in which we live. Her mane is vibrant, round, huge, full of life, communicates with the atmosphere and nature, versatile, regal. Now, with the obstruction, with not being allowed to read and write, no one, not even the owners, knew how to tame that mane. With all the finger pointing, name calling, the woman of the darker hue became desperate. She needed to find a way to stop this. So she tried many things: wax, pig fat, harsh oils. Nothing was working. Besides, she would be in the heat or rain, sweating and getting wet. Were there any point to taming her mane? No. But she continued, using the ironing board, being burned on the forehead, ear, neck, to see if they can remotely get their hair to look like the owner's wives. By now, there were many mixed breeds, and so their mane was less atmospheric than the woman of the darker hue. She was made to feel less beautiful than others. She was taught that her mane was unruly, unnatural, hard, difficult, strange, kinky, shrinks. All these words fermented towards the woman of the darker hue, and her mane were to make her not love herself. So to try to fix it, and to try and fix it, and to try and fit in, she developed a product which reconstructed the mane's natural texture. She became a billionaire for producing and providing products which saw the woman of the darker hue transform her looks. As time passed, in order for her to be in receipt of a decent waged job, she automatically knew that if she were to control her mane with products, then she is more likely to receive the paycheck. Due to the mane being naturally atmospheric, any changes will see that it would tend to break or fall out, which gave her an idea to create the weave-on extension. Now, giving the illusion of long, vibrant, bodiceful hair. This led to the full head extensions, whom at first were seen on entertainers and performers. The television has the woman of the darker hue thinking and wishing they could be exactly like what they see on TV, but it's not reality. As the greedy owners saw that this can make quite a bit of money, they began to develop many different reconstructing products that were quite potent and detrimental to the skin and the human vessel that the many women and men of the darker hue. Again, so much turmoil and dramas played out that shouldn't have been experienced or lived were. It was torture all over again, but now by the hands of the woman of darker hue. And all I keep thinking is, where is her dignity? Where is the dignity of the woman of darker hue? Where has it gone? The one that she once knew. Fast forward to the last 20 years, this industry has become a multi-billion dollar, pound, yen, rupee industry. Many people are profiting from the woman of darker hue's lack of knowledge towards her self-worth, love and dignity, but most importantly, her mane. She has lost the skills of maintaining her mane in its natural atmospheric state, and her eyes have become jaded to her true self. She continuously devalues herself without the blatant name calling and finger pointing, showing the world how desperate she is to be other than herself. She has forgotten her nature. She has forgotten her dignity. She has forgotten her sanity. She no longer loves herself, for she is forever working hard to be other than herself. Others pocket from her not knowing who she is, and they have become filthy rich because of it. It is no longer just the owner, but the other nations too. It is said that a nation of people are judged not by the man, but by the woman. So if the woman of the darker hue is trying so hard to look other than herself, what message is being put out to the nations? If she is the mother of great kingdoms and civilizations, what is she currently teaching the nations? Question: did she ever get her man back? After all of that, where did he disappear to? Something to think about. But I say to you, woman of the darker hue, take those thorns off. Allow your head to breathe. Put back on your crown. Let everyone see. Black Hair Journey of ThySelf Initiative, D. Lorina. Peace and blessings.